earn money, save money, and buy things. Living beyond the economic cycle is impossible. What trends are dictated by world markets and how does it affect consumers? Watch it in People and Economy. People's moods influences country's economy, concluded foreign financial experts. For instance, a happy person, fulfilled in life, can be 30% more productive for the country's development. A constantly upset man not only damages his own life, but also creates a negative environment around him. It automatically reduces his salary, his company's profits and budget revenues. People spend a lot of time at work. It is no doubt that negative relationships deteriorate life quality. We do not need unhappy employees who will convey their negative emotions to customers. 16 pieces of tender biscuits, airy whipped cream with lime chips and pistachio nuts, and finally, fresh strawberry. Alessia Yanebaeva feels really happy while creating this culinary masterpiece. I love my work very much and put my life into it. I do all the desserts with much care, and when our guests taste my desserts, they keep smiling and I feel even happier. A cup of refreshing coffee, fresh news in a morning newspaper, and a culinary masterpiece make Muhtar Soyunbayev's morning really good. At first sight, it seems nothing uncommon. You haven't won $1 million and you haven't found any treasures. However, such small stuff like a delicious cake and a cup of coffee make me happy. Milk chocolate, butter cookies, cakes and pastries have been identified as sweets which create happiness and kill negative mood. They saturate blood with glucose, which furthers production of serotonin or so-called happiness hormone. However, sweets are not the only things which make the life satisfaction scale. Along with that, psychologists distinguish several other factors. Family and social factor are very important. We need a support of other people, we need a team which cheers us up and gives inspiration. After selecting and studying happy Kazakhstani families, psychologists found out the main factors of a comfortable home atmosphere. Thus, it is very important to discuss during dinner how the day had gone, children's achievements, upcoming holidays, and solve the existing problems. Weekends should be spent outside the house. Career is also considered as one of puzzles of the absolute happiness, and the statistics show that the financial matter by no means always plays the crucial role. A low-paid but interesting job is also regarded as a significant contribution to happiness index. Work is one of the main aspects which make a person feel happy. We spend at work more than 8 hours a day, and it is natural that if we do not achieve our ambitions to the full extent and do not feel absolutely happy, it affects our life. Many people think that a hobby is the best work. Specialists say that a person who does things he or she likes most of all can increase the work performance by almost 20%. Staff also plays a major role. Information exchange is one of development mechanisms of any company, corporation and even state. Moreover, a good relationship between work colleagues positively affects the working atmosphere. It is like when a well-consolidated football team knows that its goalkeeper is, for example, Oliver Kahn or Buffon and continues to play in the ordinary course. Because of that, mutual respect is a key factor in any team. Having faithful companions is considered even a more important factor than discussing things together and a favorable working atmosphere. Statistically, about 40% of people of Kazakhstan prefer to spend their holidays with friends. Among the most common activities are visiting swimming pools, cafes, cinemas, theaters, or walking in parks. Staying in a company of friends can help to get rid of negative thoughts and charge with positive emotions. And according to psychologists, it stimulates brain activity and often furthers career advancement. When you come to work in good spirits and do not divert your attention from work, the results will be considerably better. Nonetheless, personal success is not the only factor of happiness. A social state support directly influences the so-called welfare economy. Economy is a kind of basis which allows to satisfy the essential needs of the society. In this case, we can observe the improvement of moral and ethical standards. Happy people are said to be as necessary for economy as proteins and carbohydrates for muscle growth. According to psychologists, being in good spirits improves labor capacity, high sales level increases tax revenues, and the higher are the tax receipts, the more successful is country's development. Along with disposition of funds, a state should encourage social and business initiatives. In such a way, it will ensure a better social progress. A research shows that the majority of happy people in Central Asia, 40% per 100, live in Kazakhstan. In neighboring countries, this figure does not even exceed 30. In general, the happiest people live in Latin America. Meanwhile, residents of the European region are on the second place. Europe is full of happy people. Thus, more than 70% of local population said that they were completely satisfied with life. According to sociologists, the reason for that is the so-called work-life balance. This sort of golden ratio between life and labor saves people from sinking in a routine work. Residents of Northern Europe save their costs and highly evaluate their free time. For example, in France and in Scandinavian countries, a working week does not exceed 35 hours. On Fridays, they work only half day. 27 hours per week. This is a time spent by the majority of Dutchmen at work. Several years ago, the government of the Netherlands became the first in the world to reduce these standards almost by half. Indeed, in the country is included in the top 10 in the Happy Planet Index. Moreover, British economists suggest to reduce a working week in their country even to 21 hours. Labor productivity mainly depends not only in working hours and duration of a working week, but on a person's creativity. Thus now we can often hear news when a company shifted to a 4-day week. And if people are capable of completing their work within 4 days, they will feel happier and be more loyal towards their company. People of Denmark are considered the happiest nation in Europe. According to sociologists, 96% of citizens of this country feel absolutely happy. A cup of hot coffee during wet weather, watching a good film with family and meeting friends in a favorite bar allows people to be always satisfied with their life. In Asian countries, unlike Europe, people dedicate most of time to their careers. The main purpose of the Chinese, Japanese and Koreans is to earn as much money as possible and ensure a comfortable life before the retirement. Thus, hardly any one of them would ever prefer rest to work. The arrangement of modern offices, which ensure maximum comfort to their workers, also affected this tendency. When you feel comfortable in your office, you don't look at watch saying that it is already 6 o'clock and you have to go and change the environment. At such work, you don't need to change the environment because you don't distinguish between the job and personal life, which becomes interconnected. Psychologists say that in Asian countries, people can feel really happy after retirement. For example, Japanese pensioners realize that they have no more work, which was an integral part of their life. In addition, they do not have to pay back loans, which also affect well-being. By the time of the retirement age, the majority of Japanese citizens have several banking accounts and 2 pensions, a corporate and individual. Because of that, all Japanese people are both happy and rich. In old age, they easily abandon daily everyday work and go traveling. Americans, like Asians, find their happiness in work. Many US residents are disposed to spend extra hours at work, considering that gaining success is only possible if you work hard. Economists have calculated that an average American annually needs $35,000 for living a happy life. Anglo-Saxon countries put emphasis on labor. People sacrifice their free time in order to earn more money and then spend it. Hobbies also play an important role in life of Americans. Sociologists say that for 70% of US residents appreciate free time more than money. It is a true fact that a proper rest brings relaxation and makes us feel much happier. We can measure the degree of our happiness ourselves in accordance with our internal scale. Nobody can determine whether a person is happy or not. Only I can say to myself that I am really happy or what I need to become happy. For example, we understand that happiness can be traveling, a new book, or taking care of your child. Changing the environment is the key factor influencing our emotional state, scientists say. Therefore, those people who travel much enjoy their life most of all. Specialists affirm that in order to feel absolutely happy, a person needs at least 2 tourist trips per month. According to experts, little-known places raise in people a lot of positive emotions and the feeling of happiness. Health in all countries is regarded as the principal factor of happiness, which stands before money and leisure. For instance, Iceland, included into the top list of the happiest countries, also demonstrates one of the best life expectancy indexes. Human lifespan depends on several factors: density of medical workers in the country, implementation of preventive healthcare measures or medical examinations, and their regularity, as well as the level of environmental pollution. Going in for sports not only improves our health and body state, but also enhances our mood and adds self-confidence, concluded psychologists. Regular exercises are the best way to prevent or treat depression, experts say. People who begin visiting a gym, running in mornings, or just doing exercises feel much happier even within a couple of months. The reason for that is endorphin, or natural happiness hormone, which our body starts to produce. Being happy to the full extent is possible by doing sports in a group. It can be dances or visiting a swimming pool. And we should never forget that staying with friends and doing exercises increase our level of happiness twofold. This is Franco Salek, an old citizen of Croatia who considers himself the happiest person in the world. And there are reasonable grounds for that. He managed to avoid a certain death several times, including a plane crash, train derailment, and traveling in a bus which fell into the river. Besides all that, he lived through many other surprises. Thus, in 2002, the man won a $1 million jackpot. After that, he distributed a half of money among occasional passerby and spent the other half on building a chapel, reconstruction of a temple, and traveling.